A very good morning to my dear students. Hope you all are safe and secure. Stay home, stay safe. Welcome back to today's our English class. Today we are going to begin our unit 7. The theme of the unit is women empowerment. In this unit, it consists of 3 readings. Reading A, Bonsai Life Part 1. Reading B, Bonsai Life Part 2. And reading C, I Can Take Care of Myself. Observe the pictures, children. Who are these people? What do you know about them? Yes, these are famous Indian women who excelled in their respective professions. We also see some girls in different get-ups. In the first row, we see Savitribai Phule, Sarojini Naidu and Mother Teresa. Savitribai Phule was the first woman teacher in India. Sarojini Naidu is known as the Nightingale of India. She was a poet and an Indian independence activist. Mother Teresa is hailed as Saint of the Slums. She founded the Missionaries of Charity and served the needy. In the second row, we see Sania Mirza, Sunita Williams and Lata Mangeshkar. Sania Mirza is a famous tennis player. Sunita Williams is an American astronaut. Her parental ancestry originates in Gujarat in India. Lata Mangeshkar is a famous singer. In the third row, we see some girls with different get-ups such as child doctor, child teacher, karate girl and child lawyer. Children, hear what makes a woman empowered. Yes, qualities such as education, self-confidence, determination, dedication and strong willpower, courage, etc. make a woman empowered. Today, let us discuss and analyze the reading A, Bonsai Life Part 1. Meaning of bonsai: the art of growing ornamental, artificially dwarfed varieties of trees or shrubs in pots. The moment I see letters waiting for me on the doorstep when I return from work, I can't contain my excitement. Here, I refers to the narrator. The narrator lives in New Delhi. She is educated enough to work in an office. When the narrator returns home from work, she finds some letters waiting for her on the doorstep. Here, meaning of contain, control. Meaning of excitement, feeling very happy. So, she is very happy to see the letters on her door steps. It's almost as if I am face to face with my near and dear ones and they are speaking affectionately to me. Instantly, the exhaustion of office work vanishes and my heart grows light. Here, the narrator says that when she sees the letter at her doorsteps, immediately the tiredness disappears and her heart grows light. Instead of entering the kitchen muttering, "Oh no, oh God," which is what I usually do when I come back tired, I feel like singing a song, humming a tune, making a nice cup of coffee and savoring each sip. So instead of the narrator entering into the kitchen, while entering into the kitchen, she mutters. Meaning of mutters: complain about something privately. Meaning of savor: enjoy eating. She says that she usually becomes tired when she comes back from office. So she feels that to sing a song, humming into tune and making a nice cup of coffee and tasting each sip. What is more, the sight of inland letters or envelopes in a familiar hand gives me the energy and enthusiasm to quickly make and eat some pakoras or bhajis. So she is very happy to see and very happy and energetic to see the letters, and she feels that she would like to eat some pakoras and bhajis. Even though I am lazy about writing letters, I love to receive one from some place to the other every day. So she says that she is lazy to write the letters, but she loves to receive the letters from another place every day. This is an unexpected letter. If my Akkaya, who doesn't normally write, went out of her way to write a letter, there has to be a reason. As I open the letter, I am a little apprehensive. I hope it is not some bad news. Actually, when things are fine, no one bothers to write. Meaning of apprehensive, anxious or fearful that something bad. So here the narrator says that this is an unexpected letter from her sister Akkaya. Here she calls her sister as Akkaya. She usually or normally doesn't write a letter, but she feels that while opening a letter, she feels little tension or little anxious and fearful that it may be some bad news. She also says that when things are everything fine, no one bothers to write. Amulu. Here narrator is called as Amulu and narrator's sister is called as Akkaya. You must be very surprised to receive my letter. So Akkaya says that Amulu, you are very much surprised to receive my letter. You would be even more surprised if I were to tell you that your Bavagaru and I are coming to your place. So she writes in the letter Akkaya writes that Bavagaru and she are coming to the narrator's place. We have been planning for quite a while to visit Kasi and Haridwar. She says that they were going to visit Kasi and Haridwar. We have now found the time. She says that now we have time to come near your place. I hope you won't find our visit inconvenient. So she says to her sister that you won't find any inconvenient if we visit to your place. My dear, it seems Akkaya and Bavagaru are coming over, I said to my husband excitedly. So here Amulu says to her husband that Akkaya and Bavagaru are coming to our place. Is that true? When? Where is it? Give me the letter, he said and pulled the letter from my hand. I went into the kitchen to get the coffee and other things ready. So Amulu's husband questions here to Amulu, is that true? Really, your sister Akkaya and Bavagaru are coming here. When are they coming? Where is it? Give me the letter. He pulls from her hand and he started reading. Meanwhile, Amulu went into the kitchen to get some coffee and other things ready. Akkaya and Bavagaru were coming to the city and our home for the first time since my marriage. So Amulu says that our Akkaya and Bavagaru are visiting our city and our home for the first time after Amulu's marriage. I had looked forward to their visit all these years. So Amulu says that I am waiting from these many years for their visit to my place. They had never left their little village to go anywhere, using children, cattle, cooking, etc. as excuses. They had always avoided moving out. Under such circumstances, imagine they're coming to our house and to this big city. So whenever Amulu asked Akkaya and Bavagaru to visit their place, so Akkaya used to give the reasons that she is having their children, cattle, cooking, etc. as her excuses. So but imagine she is saying that too. She is saying that our sister, our Akkaya, is visiting our house and to this big city. Amulu says that till now it was not possible as Akkaya and Bavagaru live in a village and Bavagaru is busy with his agriculture. So far, they have not visited the narrator's place after her marriage. The narrator is very happy with this. So, who is the narrator here, sister? Here, narrator is Amulu. Akaya is not as educated as me. By not as educated, I mean Nanagaru did not let her study after class 5. Of what use was education for a girl? Those were the days when people thought it was enough if a girl was able to keep the washerman's accounts. Here, Akaya does not have much education. She finished her class 5. Their Nanagaru means here Amulu's and Akaya's Nanagaru believe that girls don't need too much of education. It was enough if they could settle washerman's accounts. A decade later, when I was born, there wasn't much debate as to whether a girl should have education or not. So 10 years later, the narrator was born. Times changed, and with them, Nanagaru also has changed. I was lucky that my father changed with the times. Here, who is I here? The narrator says that she is so lucky because her father has changed with the times. He didn't even hesitate to send me to college. He didn't even think. He thought that to send to her college. No girl who is well educated can be satisfied with staying at home, being a housewife and looking after the household after marriage. She would want to put her education to good use and achieve something in life. I too was driven by the same desire. Even though my husband had a job, I took up one as well. She says that after marriage, the narrator wanted to put her education to some use. So, she started working in an office while discharging her duties as a housewife. Because Akaya was not educated, she was married to a man from the village. Though my Bavagaru was educated, his ideals made him choose agriculture as his profession, and he settled down in the village to cultivate his land. Akaya grew accustomed to the village life. Meaning of accustomed, get used to. Here, Akaya was not much interested in educated. She was married to a man from a village. Though Bavagaru was educated, he chose agriculture as his profession. He settled down in the village, and so Akaya also settled there. Akaya bought so many things: cucumber, gongura, drumsticks, appadams, vadiyams and coconuts. I hope you don't mind. I have brought you all these things like kuchela. I don't know whether you will like them or not, she said rather hesitantly. So here Amulu says that Akaya bought me so many things. What did she bring there? Cucumber, gongura, drumsticks, appadams, vadiyams and coconut. And she says that I hope you don't mind because she bought all these things like kuchela. Here, who is Kuchela here? He is a friend of Krishna, Lord Krishna. Kuchela bought some few beaten rice, which is called as atkulu in Telugu. He bought some few beaten rice to Lord Krishna. So in the same way, Akaya says that like Kuchela, I also bought the same things for you. I hope so you will never feel anything, she said rather hesitantly. Why do you say that? You have actually brought all these things we wanted. We don't get these things here. If your Maridi has gongura pulusu, cucumber papu and drumstick charu, he feels as elated as if he has a sumptuous feast. She says that your Maridi means who is Maridi here? Amulu's husband. She says that Amulu says that you brought all the things what we wanted. She says that Amulu says that she feels very happy as she is unable to bake appadams and idioms. She says that she doesn't find time to make them. Even if she has a little time, she is a little bit lazy too. She says that with my office work, I am unable to make appadams and idioms. Even if I have some free time, I am lazy to do such work. You know me, don't you? I said with a laugh. So Amulu says that, Akkaya, you know about me. I am having free time also because I am too lazy. I am unable to do such work. She smiles and says to her sister, Akkaya. That's true. But by the time you come back from office, you must be dead tired. How can you then prepare appadams and vidiyams and make idlis and doshas? I don't know how you are able to manage work at home and in the office. Akkaya, consoled me. So here Akkaya says to Amulu that it's true. When you're tired, when you come back from office, you feel that you're totally tired. And how can you prepare this appadams and vidiyams and idlis and doshas? And she questions to her sister that how are you able to manage both the work at home and in the office? What a wretched job. Meaning of wretched, miserable, very unhappy. Sometimes I feel like giving it up. So she says that sometimes I feel sad to leave the job. You know, people say solve your problems at home before you solve those outside. She says that people say that solve your problems at home before outside the problems. First solve your problems at your home. To neglect work at home and look after office work is an uphill task for a woman. I said speaking from experience. Meaning of uphill task, difficult work. She says that about her experience. From her experience, the narrator feels that it is a difficult job for a woman to balance her domestic responsibilities and office work. She expresses her feelings to Akkaya. Akkaya says that she is fortunate enough as she has studied and is working. Don't think like that, Amulu. How fortunate you are. Touchwood. You have studied well, have a job like a man, and are earning very well. You don't have to beg anyone for anything. You are able to lead a dignified life, unlike us who have to depend on our husbands even for a few paisa worth of karvepaku, said Akkaya. Here meaning of touchwood, said in order to avoid bad luck. Meaning of dignified, deserving respect. Akkaya says that she is fortunate enough as she has studied and is working. She is able to earn some money, so she doesn't need to depend on her husband even for buying karvepaku. The grass is greener on the other side. I thought to myself, what's your daughter doing now? I asked, changing the topic. Here, Sister Akkaya says that you have a dignified life because you are earning your own money. You have no need to depend upon your husband. So then Amulu says that she feels that the grass is greener on the other side. You have a theme in Telugu. This refers to Poruginti Pullakura Ruchi. She thought of herself, and to avoid the topic, to avoid this, she changed the topic and she asked questions to Akkaya that what's your daughter doing now? She is in her final year at school. So Akkaya gives the reply that my daughter is in her final year at school. If by God's grace she clears her exams, I am determined to send her to college. So Akkaya says that by God's grace, if she clears all her exams, I am going to send to her college. Your Bavgaru doesn't really like the idea of sending her to the next town and putting her in a hostel. Akkaya says that your Bavgaru is not at all interested to join her in the next town, another town, in a hostel. But I don't like to keep a girl at home without educating her. Akkaya says that, but I don't like to keep a girl at her home without educating her. Is it what I am going through enough? In these times, if a woman doesn't have a degree, she will come to nothing. So Akaya says that in these days, if the woman doesn't have a degree, she is having nothing. She can't come out. Without it, she will have to live under her husband's thumb like a scorpion under a slipper, she says. Akaya says that their daughter is in school. They want to send her to college if she clears the school exams. From her experience, so from Akaya's experience, she says that Akaya firmly believes that these days a woman needs education. A woman needs education. Otherwise, she has to live under the husband's thumb like a scorpion under a slipper. In Telugu, you can say there, Cheppu kinda Telu. This is the Bonsai Life Part 1 lesson. Once again, let us go through the glossary of the given lesson. Meaning of contain, control. Meaning of excitement, feeling very happy. Meaning of exhaustion, extreme tiredness. Meaning of vanish, disappear. Meaning of mutter, complain about something privately. Meaning of savor, enjoy eating. Meaning of accustomed, get used to. Meaning of sumptuous, grand. Meaning of wretched, miserable, very unhappy. Meaning of touchwood, said in order to avoid bad luck. Meaning of uphill task, difficult work. Meaning of dignified, deserving respect. Meaning of elated, very unhappy. Meaning of apprehensive, fearful that something bad. Meaning of enthusiasm, intense and eager enjoyment. Now, let us discuss some few question answers. The moment I see letters, can't contain my excitement. Why does the narrator get excited? So, why does the narrator get excited here, children? Because the narrator lives in national capital, as if far off from her own village. There are not many Telugu speaking people there. Moreover, she loves her village, relatives and everything that has connection with it. So, the writer gets excited when she sees the letters. Because she is far away from her village and her sisters and relatives, she feels very excited when she sees the letters. What change did the narrator observe in her father's attitude towards education over a decade? So, what did the narrator observe in her father's attitude over a decade? Means after 10 years. The narrator's father felt in the beginning that education of girls was no use. It's enough if a girl was able to keep the washerman's accounts. 10 years later, when the narrator was born, her father was convinced that girls needed higher education. So, he sent the narrator to a college. Why was Akaya determined to send her daughter to college? So, why was Akaya determined here to send her daughter to college, children? Because Akaya was determined to send her daughter to college as she felt that if a woman didn't have a degree, she would come to nothing. Without a degree, she would have to live under her husband's thumb like a scorpion under a slipper. Coming to the next question. In what way is the narrator more fortunate than her sister? The narrator has studied well. She has a job like a man and is earning very well. She doesn't have to beg anyone for anything. She is able to lead a dignified life, unlike her, who has to depend on her husband even for a few paisa worth of karivepaku. Isn't it? She says that because the narrator is earning well, she no need of depend upon her husband. Can one be independent without a job or earning? Justify your answer. See, children, can one be independent without a job or earning? Can they be independent without a job or earning? Some women have jobs. They earn and have independence. But there are some women who are not independent even though they have jobs and attractive salary, isn't it? Some, if they are having job also, they are not at all independent. It is not the question of job and earning. If the husband and wife have good understanding and mutual respect, they can be happy even though the wife doesn't work. Otherwise, they can't be happy even if both of them work and get fat salaries. Children, write the given glossary and comprehension in your classwork and send it to my given WhatsApp number. Coming Saturday, you are going to have ST in Bonsai Life Part 1. So kindly prepare yourself. Thank you. God bless us all.